Do I even train? No, no, I don't. It really hurts. It hurts. I miss it. I'll be back this week. Back tomorrow for sure. Ask Mikey. Yeah, I'll, I'll find out what you're talking about. Let's see. In the meantime, we've got footage from yesterday to go over. So I heard you guys had a pretty happening open mat. So I'm excited to see what you guys did. We're back to our flashing screen. What's up, Sean? How you doing, bud? Thanks for tuning in, man. Got Jordan and Aries, and Mitchell and Kyle. Unfamiliar. Oh man, and the return of Richie. I'm so bummed I missed Richie. Richie, if you watch this, I'm super bummed I missed you, bro. Hopefully we get to train sometime. Hope you get back up here into Mooresville. Pop in again. Let's see. What's going on? My name is Matt. Flashing screen. Yeah, I know. I haven't had. I've barely been here this week, so I've had no opportunity to figure any of that stuff out. So deal with it. All right. Let's see. I'm just jabbering away. What happened here? So I want to look at Richie and Daniel doing a little wrestling to start us off. Daniel hits the arm up, gets that underhook. See, right there he pops it up, ducks behind, and gets on Richie's back. And then I'm not sure who Danny is training with over here. This is a new face for me. So yeah, Daniel's past the guard at this point, looking to isolate. And then James and Jason getting after it. Tyler. Oh, Peter's now following. Thanks, bud. Possibly Tyler Durden. Let's see. What did Richie do here? Richie got himself a sweep. So Daniel working from north-south and a little too, I don't want to say too committed. I mean, he's looking for the north-south strangle here. So he's got his right arm buried pretty deep under Richie. And Richie takes advantage. You can see he's holding that, he's holding the tricep to prevent Daniel from taking the arm out on the bridge that he's about to attempt. So a little bit of a, I don't want to say a telegraph, but just kind of a sign of what's to come. If you find yourself in that position. And then quickly trying to get to the back, just doesn't get his legs established. And now Daniel's up on a single. Daniel's never not going to get that single. I'm Robert Paulson. I'm not Tyler Durden. Meanwhile, let's see, James, Jason. Jason's got this like cross-side. Yeah. Let's see this. So Jason is working bottom half. James trying to go for this like kind of a body lock pass, or not so much a body lock just because he has the legs more tied up than the grip behind the lower back. My buddy that's always later absent, that's Mike. He's normally the one right here in this corner. I believe he's celebrating his anniversary tonight, so he's allowed to be absent. But yeah, James is doing a good job getting to the cross side, and Jason knows that at that point he doesn't really have much to do with that guillotine. Meanwhile, Aries. Actually, hold on. So looks like Daniel did end up getting that north-south strangle he was going for. Sinks it in here. Aries working from this Keisugatame with the underhook on the far side. Trying to get the, I think he's trying to clear Jordan's elbow. gave me hell that night. Not give me hell. Yeah, and that's so with Aries' background in judo. I find that anytime I've rolled with guys who are proficient in judo and experienced, they have a very effective kesa position where they will keep your elbow off the mat. They may not do much with it from there. I'm not saying Aries didn't do anything with it, but a lot of judo practitioners, they get there and all they have to do in like a competition is, I think, hold that pin for like 20 seconds or something, and then the ref will stand them back up, and I think they get a point or something. So they're really good at holding that position, not getting, you're not going to get your elbow back to the mat. You're going to wear all their weight. But they don't always have, if they're pure judo, they don't always have the best transitions to other like threatening spots from there. James thinking about entering 50-50 briefly. Matt, was it toe holds are highly effective against opponents with broken toes? That makes sense. That makes sense. Especially since, when you grab it, when you grab the toe line, you're grabbing at the pinky toe first. So pinky toe being the most commonly broken toe. Yeah, I would expect that, Steven. I guess Jordan got his first tap on you, huh? Let's see, what am I missing here? Does Aries get the takedown? A little 50-50 on this Asoto. This Asoto Gari with Jordan and Aries up top. So, I know Mike would have a lot to say about this. He really likes the setup on Asoto Garis to make them less 50-50 and more weighted in your favor. So Jordan, for you, at this point, like, notice your posture. You're both upright, which doesn't lend any advantage to you as the one initiating this move. I like the grip that you have with your that overhook grip with your left arm, but what I'd prefer is you using that grip and pulling Aries down, kind of away from the camera and towards that wall, getting his spine bent in that direction a little bit, weighing up that right leg of his, the one that you're targeting, and kind of getting his head a little bit outside, as far outside his feet as you can. You're not, it's not going to be anything drastic typically. Once he reacts, but when you can weigh them down to the side that you're trying to trip on, that Asoto Gari becomes less 50-50 and more, we'll say 80-20, just to keep the numbers going. And it's important, right? Because you can see what happens, especially, again, Aries with his judo background. He feels himself upright. He knows that he's not in a terrible situation, so he gets to counter the Asoto that you started. And then he lands right into Kesa again, which I know you didn't want to be in. I like the lion emoji. James on the back. Quick back take. Found that space with your foot pretty easily. It looked like Jason left a big hole for you there. Yeah, he does look like Masvidal, doesn't he? And our friend Tyler Durden over here kind of looks like Ben Askren a little bit with the curly hair. That's about the only thing that makes him look like Ben Askren, but we should pit them together. Jason doing a good job keeping his guard. And time. Anything happen with Richie and Daniel? I think they just had a back and forth there. Yeah, okay. Oh, Richie and Danny. And Joe and Tyler, Aries and Jason. Both. We do an open mat after class, so every class normally has an hour-long open mat after it. Luke rocking the super swaggy ranked black belt rash guard from alva.com. Get yours today. And Luke choosing to pull guard here. So Aries is putting the body lock to work. He and I were talking about that with Arsum the last time I was there, however long ago that was. But now he's got he missed the pinning the heels to the butt, so now Jason's able to re-guard. So it looks like, yeah, let's see this. Jason does a good job fighting this off a bit. Right there, Jason inserts his underhook, and that's not always gonna work. Like, I know when you bigger guys do this to me, I could get an underhook and it's not gonna mean anything. But here you see him able to pry Aries' arm away a little bit. That glitch in the screen is awesome. Yeah, right here, the body lock's done. This isn't gonna work, and Jason really has a great opportunity for a sweep here. I don't think he gets it. But yeah, so pulling the arms up the body, disrupting the closed grip behind the back, pretty much taking away the entire opportunity of the body lock. And then now, so he doesn't get the sweep, but he at least re-guards. And more with bigger guys who do the damn, let's see what happens. Bigger guys who do the body lock pass to me, re-guarding tends to be what I go for at this point. Sweeping from that position can be a tall order if your opponent outweighs you considerably. So switching to a guard is always good. What's up, Brandon? How you doing, bud? So Aries goes for the standing guard break. Jason goes for the double ankle sweep. And let's see. So does Aries get the pinch? He kind of, so he goes in on a reap, doesn't get the knee pinch. Tries to go in on a reap though. Jason gets the better of the exchange. Almost rather keep the hooks. Oh, for the body lock? So yeah, that's the thing. If you want to work butterfly guard here, that's fine, and it's a good option as long as you can do what Jason did here and get that grip that's under you behind your back. If you can get that undone, then yeah, your butterfly hooks become usable again. You're gonna want to get off of your back, like you don't want to be flat backed. Otherwise, I don't really think. You know, maybe if you're stronger, you can maybe work something better. I'd prefer to use technique here, but like if you can kind of hit a forward shift where you sit them back, you keep your butterfly hooks the whole time, then you're opening yourself up to really good sweeping opportunities that you could hit. That all come off of, you know, things like this shoulder crunch grip that Jason's establishing here. It also gives you a chance, if you don't want to sweep, you could sit them up, work from that seated position, and then return to your back in a way by pulling them back over you, elevating them and keeping them going and entering into the legs. Those opportunities aren't going to come up though if you're flat on your back. But yes, to your point, Sean, you would want to keep the butterfly hooks from there. You can do a lot with them. Where are we? Speaking of entering the legs, it looks like Jason's thinking the same thing here as he sits to his butt, in on the straight ankle. Nice. Good finish. You see Jason isn't prioritizing the hips his hips being close to Aries' hips, as you would for a heel hook. Instead, he's got his shoulder to the mat. His bottom elbow is tucked behind him. He's up on his shoulder, kind of elevating his hips a bit and doing everything he can to hip and straighten out. I can't see where his hand position is relative to his chin, but just remember that's a really good way to prevent any power loss when you're finishing your heel hooks or your straight ankles. Keep your grip, your hands close to the chin as you extend the body away. Elevate into De La Riva. Yeah, let's see. From if I had butterfly hooks, I'm probably not gonna play De La Riva personally. I think I was saying this in the last stream. Like my no-gi De La Riva game is pretty minimal just because of the lack of control. You know, you have so many more grips at your disposal in the gi that playing De La Riva is a little safer, I think. In no gi, I use a sweep from there, and then maybe if I could get them well off balance from like a tripod sweep attempt, you know, I could go into some back takes, but I don't see, you know, play around with it. The only thing to remember with De La Riva, like you just talked about keeping your hooks in. If you go to De La Riva, you're taking a hook out and you're just going around the outside. So just entering a different game. Who was that? Oh, James, thanks for the sub, bud. The resub, 16 months. That's what I'm talking about. What did Daniel do there? All good points though, Sean. Dan trying to get around the guard. Meanwhile, Danny coming in here on a very tight triangle. Let's look at this. So, looking here at Danny right up above my head. Okay, so the step over. Where does he slip? Oh, okay, so Richie gets... With Richie going for the single here, this is... Let's see. I'm trying to untangle their limbs in my mind here. What's up, Joe? So Richie goes for this single leg across the body. And what he's doing is giving Danny... He's like 90 degrees away from one arm in and one arm out. I would probably... I mean... Let's see. It's hard to say from here. I'm armchair quarterbacking, but reaching for Danny's right leg instead of the left leg may have been a safer bet here. In general, this is one of those rules that, like, you know, you can break it when you feel confident about it. I honestly tend not to. When I'm reaching for a leg, I'm never going in between the legs when I do that. A good way to think about this. What's a good example? Maybe we'll find one later in the stream. But like if I'm coming up from bottom half guard, let's say, I'm not reaching for the free leg. I'm reaching for the leg that is between my legs as I come up on to like a single leg or like a knee tap double, those sorts of things. Or like when I am in bottom side control, I'm not reaching down between the leg to, like, you know, get a grip on an ankle as I turn towards it and try to ankle trap or things like that. I keep my arms on the outside of the legs if I'm going to be trying to capture them. So Richie's kind of breaking that rule here. You can see his left arm reaches in between the legs, as opposed to a safer bet, which may have just been to reach right here on the ankle and go for a single leg there. So Danny steps around. Now Danny has one arm in, one arm out with a rear triangle. And we see Danny trying to get that arm up above the head. There he sets in the triangle. He's on a great angle now. Good finish. Aries with the relentless top pressure from side control. Speaking of rear triangles, got Luke on one. Oh no, Luke's switching to the armbar. Okay. Nice, gets the armbar. Let's look at this setup. So Luke is about coming over the top into the rear triangle position. But I think Daniel makes the move first. Daniel's pinning that. Oh no. He's controlling the right leg. Or trying to. Now Luke has to adjust. And here Luke's, like, he doesn't have an immediate threat. Like, he's not bending a joint right now. But he's working, I believe, to capture Daniel's elbow. To make sure as he goes in on the armbar finish, he's got the elbow depth that he needs to make it dangerous. And he's using this, an interesting leg configuration with this triangle coming up over the body. This is, I don't know. I mean, this is kind of like a 3/4 armbar, except his left foot is in front of Daniel and not like the heel into the neck. But it was enough to keep Daniel from sitting up. He had the crossface leg in. And he gets the extension. Not to move the spotlight on purpose, but I'm on a triangle. The worst time I'm in on trial, the worst time getting my legs locked. He may have been stacking enough to not let the hips up. Okay, let's see. Let's all stop what we're doing for Joe. That's what the stream's all about. All right, so we're looking right here. All right, so first off, and again, this may be Tyler's first class. I have no idea. But he's making a critical error here. This is why I think it's his first class. He's not upright, right? He's just kind of bent over in this like middle zone here, halfway between a kneeling position and a standing guard break position. And he reaches his left arm back. And Joe knows, well, that's Triangle City. So he shoots it up. So yeah, his reaction here isn't terrible. He's driving his right shoulder deeper into it. Been training 6 months, second class with us. Okay, cool. Yeah, his guard break position wasn't great, but his triangle defense was decent. So what he's doing here, Joe, is he's driving that right shoulder deeper in to the submission. That's going to put a lot of pressure on your legs. It's not just the pressure. Think about what we're trying to do when we hit any sort of strangle is minimize the hole spacing, you know, around the neck and the shoulder. In this case, the neck and the shoulder. Like a perfectly executed triangle, you're not going to see that shoulder position. The arm's going to be in, and this shoulder won't be visible to you. It'll kind of be on the backside of your leg. Said he has only trained gi before. Oh, interesting. This would be a little bit harder to do for him in gi, I think. Could be wrong about that, but trying to jam that shoulder in further with all the friction could be a little bit more difficult. But regardless, that's what he's doing. So yes, the stack is part of it. Like that's a helpful part of this specific triangle defense. I think early on what you could do better to shut this down is as soon as you get this, like I see this little trap triangle you have set up, it's hard to tell from video, but I'm not entirely convinced that your hips are as well engaged as they could be. And usually the telltale sign for me is your heels. I want to see your heels digging into them. That kind of picks your hips up off the ground. But again, it is hard because he is stacking so heavily. Remember with stacking, the answer to that as the attacker is cutting your angle. You're kind of cutting to the wrong side here. I'd like to see your right arm trying to scoop on his left leg. That's going to be the way to get to the angle you need to get that right shoulder of his out of the equation and tighten up that triangle. Yeah, popping your hips up for sure. Just and cutting the angle to a better side. That shin grab that you're doing, it's not really gonna do much for you in my opinion. And yeah, your cardio is garbage, as James says, so you need to work on that too. And then, you know, for a more advanced option here that you can start playing around with, you can switch to a wrong way triangle, where you're just gonna switch your legs the other way. You're still gonna need to like get up on your shoulders and cut an angle. You're just cutting an angle to the other side at this point, but we can look at that another time. I think we've probably talked about that with you in the past, but it's not frequent that you see that move, so might need to drill it. Looks like Jason's about to go in on another leg entry, but got a scissor sweep from Aries. Meanwhile, Daniel trying to break Luke's leg, and Luke giving him the standard reaction that he's given to all of us. One of complete indifference to the incipient threat. Maybe need to hit the gym. Yeah, for real. Yeah, Joe's really let himself go. He needs to get his physical life back together, you know. Oh, meanwhile, Victoria and Justin have been over here getting after it. Jason finishing off strong in mount. Ben and Jordan. All right, Jason and Mike. Aries and Andrew. Cool. Ronnie's hair looking fabulous. Oh, about hit that Uchimata with the overhook. That was nice. Gets the elevation, just doesn't get Andrew's hips up over his head. Daniel in almost the same position. Be careful with that double, like that clinch position, Andrew. Especially against someone with wrestling experience, you've committed your hands up to the neck. And while you may be hanging weight on them, they could just easily say, okay, I'll go down with it and double leg you. Joe and Steven are up to. Steven pulling close guard. Alternatively, Andrew, you can, if you're quick with that position, since you're practicing like hanging your weight on people and all that stuff, you snap them down with that. You know, don't just stand there with it. Get the grip, snap them down, and then shoot your own double. Right? Make them stand up as a reaction and shoot a quick double on them. Looks like Jordan got the better of that exchange. He had the right idea there. That's good. Try to get the knee free. I would plant your foot, Jordan, and try to walk your foot up to get your knee vertical. Then this hand push that you're doing on the knee becomes a whole lot easier to do. Good timing. That's kind of a classic reaction, something we talk about a lot at white belt when we're learning. waiting for our opponent to try to bridge. Watch Justin's legs. That leg plants. Now all Jordan has to do is just backstep out to prevent the sweep, and he gets his leg free. And he doesn't even backstep out of it. He just switches right up to mount here. A lot of times you'll see guys take a big backstep, and as they shut down the sweep, they come back into side control. Jordan says, screw that. I'm just going to go to mount instead. Nice reaction. Mikey locking me. Just ignore that 5-second mounted guillotine. What happened? Let's go find the mounted guillotine. Why not? Let's reach up. Boom. Guillotine. Nice roll. Looks like a... I'm assuming you have the... Do you have a 5-finger in here? It looks like it. Boom. There we go. Au contraire, Baker. Ooh, Aries with the big reap into an inside Ashi position. Okay, do a Remi Ashi. Good. Andrew, take the time to... You can use your hands here if you're not in an immediate threat to pop that leg off of your hips and sit to the position you are now. Looks like you're good, though. Start as a 5-finger, had to grip to finish. I hope you guys are stoked for the Gary Tonin seminar this weekend. I know I am. If you guys haven't gotten your ticket yet, make sure you talk to Bertram this week. Talk to him on Tuesday or at one of the kids' classes if you're there for some reason. But I can promise you can expect 3 hours of really solid instruction. I know I learned a ton from the Tonin seminar I attended like 5 years ago now, I think. Really worth it. And you might get to roll with him, hopefully. I know he rolled with everybody. Gary with 2 R's, for sure. Sure with 1 R. All right, Justin coming into Rimiashi. Where's our Gary emoji? Oh man, remind me, and I'll just ask him if we could take a good picture of him. That way I'm not like clipping it from some low res thing and it looks like garbage. That'd be sick. We definitely need a Gary emoji. Let's jump ahead here. There we go. Oh, the big boys getting after it. It's Luke immediately in on a arm-in guillotine here. Fun fact, Richie and I got our blue belts on the same day. Luke doing what Luke do and working from bottom half guard. He's hit the gym more. Yeah, he's not already big enough. Oh, Luke on a good Kimura. Let's see. Looks like he just caught Richie thinking there. Richie wasn't quick enough on the on hiding the arm. Dana have a good round. I scrambled his eggs to finish him off. You know, you got to keep him honest. A little scramble every once in a while. Keep him in his place. Yeah, you got a good takedown there. Then you push off the wall. Which I am all for. I just want you guys to know that. If you are using your feet up against the wall to reverse positions, I celebrate that. Ooh, Mike and Jason. Mike choosing to stand for this round, too. I guess that ankle's feeling a little bit better. Andrew on a good triangle threat here, it looks like. So, Andrew, you're on a wrong way triangle right now. Just FYI. Whoop, I look away and you guys tapped. One of you tapped, so... What happens here? How did that end? Andrew, was that an armbar? Did you wrist lock him? Was it a triangle? I'd be kind of surprised if it was, just because of the angle I'm seeing here. Triangle? Okay. So the reason I say I'm surprised is just because, so kind of like we talked about with Joe. Let me see if I could find a good frame. You know, you want to cut a really good angle on a triangle. You have your legs in the wrong way position, and I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just like it's called a hantai senkaku. It's just switched, right? The leg that goes across the neck should correspond to the arm that is out. Those should be on the same side. So you have it switched, and when you do that, you can still get the strangle. You normally just have to dig pretty far, in this case to your left, which I believe you start doing, and it gets things pretty tight. But in my experience, for me, it's a pain in the ass to get to the spot you need to be to get that to get the necessary squeeze, right? Looked like you got there easier than I do. So yeah, good job on that. Cole, or I'm sorry, Luke on the cross ashi inside heel hook with the Mikey style grip, and Jason trying to rip Mike's head off. Let's see something. So I don't know if Jason's intending to sweep with this. I do know Mike likes his kind of rolling escapes out of guillotines, and since if Mike is initiating this roll, then Jason, I think that means you're doing something right here. Yeah, you can see he's immediately trying to address the hips. Gets his head free. Yeah, Jason, I would say you had him somewhat threatened there. Richie trying his own guillotine now. Luke with the back step to pass the guard. Put Richie flat on his back. And is that Braden, I think, strangling Steven? Gavin. I think that's Gavin. Oh, and that's James, not Steven. So it was a good attempt here. Gavin's getting really solid with stringing together his submission attempts. So right here we see him looking for the arm trap with the leg, and then as he starts to lose the back with James getting his shoulders to the mat, he makes a quick switch here to try to keep the arm triangle. I'm sure that would make Luke proud. James gets the arm down, and it looks like he tries to step up to a mounted guillotine position here, but James keeps the arms in. So good attack switching. I know they didn't come together just yet. but that's the kind of chain style grappling I like to see. Right to the anaconda, trying to roll James. James doesn't roll as easily as I do, Gavin. And Jason on his own armbar. So when trying to break grips here, this isn't a hard, fast rule, but I would say get your elbow to her elbow. Like, go elbow deep. I don't want to see your wrist in the crook of her arm. I want to see your elbow matching to the crook of her arm. It's just going to be a stronger position, and it's going to be harder for Ronnie to slip this on like a quick turn. When Ronnie decides she has the room and she turns to you, she's most likely going to do that when she feels like her elbow has a little bit of wiggle room. Yeah. Gavin's been he's been very like cerebral when he's fighting lately. Like really thinking and making good decisions as he goes through it. He's got an arm, but not a cross-facing leg here, so he needs to switch to either a triangle or come up on top. All right. That's the kind of single I would have liked to see Richie take, as opposed to the earlier one where his arm was between the legs against Danny. James trying to sit out. All right, Braden is with Joe. Mike doing a very difficult thing here, which is isolating one of Jason's arms. He doesn't get that, but he does use it to get himself behind Jason. Doesn't manage to keep it. James, did you sit into that position like you've been doing? Oh, okay. You went like up and over. Keeping Gavin's second leg to keep him from rolling, but he's having to make the choice there between running that second leg interference to prevent the lock versus giving you that leg which prevents his rolling escape, or his ability to turn, I should say. Joe and Jason. And Mitch and Luke. Cool. Nice mount, Joe. Little misdirectional approach here. So going north-south. Grabbing those legs and swinging up over top. Busy mats tonight, or yesterday, I guess. How did Jason escape that? Oh, yeah. Jason's like a kipping master.
You and Jason are having a little dogfight here. Let's see if you get him elevated. Yep, nice. Nice entry. Really nice. So working from bottom half guard, bottom butterfly half, diving deep on the outside leg. And then I like the handwork you do here. So you take that collar tie and switch it to a cross shoulder post, which you then use to, in conjunction with your butterfly, get Jason off balance in this direction. That makes that left leg of his very light. And then good leg swing right into a knee bar position. Let's see if there's anything. One idea for something you could just tighten up with this. It's gonna be, I mean, so that entrance isn't like, it's a great entrance. The downside to this position on the knee bar is his other leg is free. Anytime that you can get a knee bar where, in this case, if you just like rolled another 90 degrees to where you were on your, or another 180 to where you're on your right side, and you're pinning his leg, his right leg, that's just a more controlling knee bar. This one isn't bad. The other side just has like another element of control to it. So if you can get there, great. If not, then yeah, secure the leg. It looks like your legs are in great position here, and you get the tap before he can get out. Solid entry, man. Great finish. Gavin on a Kimura here, or straight arm, nice. Great sweep, great sweep. That's a good example, Sean. I don't know if you're still watching, of the use of those butterfly hooks. So it didn't come out of a body lock per se, like we were talking about. He's not even in a full like double butterfly position. But he's off his back and working from there, not working flat on his back where he's not going to be able to do anything. And with that single butterfly with his right leg, he ends up getting a good sweep. Joe on that knee bar again. Triangling for safety. And rather than hugging the neck there, Jason, I would look to control that bottom arm, just to take away the immediate threat. Maybe if I was in that position, I'd think of something different and better to do, but that's, at a glance, that's what I would be focusing on right now. Good switch. You're into like almost to a cross ashi if you can get Jason to his butt. Yeah, this is where off balancing is super important. I mean, like everywhere in jiu-jitsu, it's necessary, but this is a good example of when it can make or break a move. Your legs are in a great position theoretically, but they just don't. You don't have a limb isolated and exposed until you get Jason's butt like flat to the mat. Mitchell doing his best to break Luke's leg here. Let's look at Mitchell here for a second. Mitchell comes in with a reap of the century here. Big, huge reap. This leg, though, not a great spot. A little bit better now. And then now he's got Luke in a bad spot. He just needs to see the heel exposure that he has. Luke's being careful here about which way he's rolling. What Mitchell is demonstrating is the the real utility of an Achilles grip, even when you're not using it to submit. So you just saw Luke had to go through about 360 degrees of rotation to finally get to a spot where he was, I guess, out of a threat. But the whole time Mitchell had his leg. So it's an important thing for when you're trying to do what I was just talking about with Joe, where you're trying to break somebody back down to their hip for leg attacks. Coming back in, looks like Jason gets free-ish of Joe's legs here. But Joe retains the double inside position with the legs. Gets double overhooks, and Jason's going for a ride. Right into mount. And to the smother. Nice. Really nice. Even though I hate it. Let's see. Aries keeping Ronnie's legs pointed away so that she cannot regard. And looking to advance. Does anybody know, was that was yesterday the last day of mount? We haven't gone on to the back yet, have we? I haven't trained in so long, I just don't know anymore. Well, your trying paid off, Joe. We're halfway through back week? Oh, goodness gracious. Tomorrow's week 2 of back. Well, let's change the weak position to back mount. Jordan and Danny. Richie and Ronnie. Cool. Ronnie getting the front headlock, trying to get Richie to turn here. Let's see. Ronnie, you may have just lost a little bit of your like chest to back of the head connection on that turn, and just kind of like leaked a little bit of power here. Like right here, as your back hits the mat, it looks like Richie's not turning 1-to-1 with you, and that's what keeps him from going over on that. Otherwise, he would have been in some trouble. Meanwhile, James. Danny with a big switch to mount. James trying to circle around the legs. Danny riding high on this mounted triangle. But Jordan's keeping at least his hand in from the left hand. We'll see if that's enough to prevent it. I kind of doubt it. Nice. Oh, all right. I stand corrected. Excellent defense, Jordan. You're not out of the woods yet. Slip that second hand back in. Now you're in a little bit of trouble if Danny adjusts. Man, excellent defense, Jordan. That was great. You went from fingertips of your left hand barely staying in to turning that into a complete escape. And now to a guard pass. James elevating with double butterflies. More akin to what I was talking about earlier. And actually, hold on. Was that... Okay, so Aries wasn't doing a body lock pass, but that's kind of what I was talking about. James hits this like forward shift position where Aries is back, you know, to his shins, and that allows James to kind of load up and take him. You just sent him a little too far, otherwise you might have had a leg entrance there. All right, Jordan, there we go. Giving Danny a taste of his own medicine. Ronnie doing the same. And Ronnie gets it. Nice. Very nice. What happened, Jordan? What happened? As you went off, Danny was trying to time it. You can make this switch to the side a little bit more controlled. Like, you don't have to remember, like, think about how controlling you are right now. Right? Danny doesn't have that elbow in a good position. He's in a pretty deep-ish submission threat, regardless of like the quality of the contact to his neck right now. Even if he's not like about to tap, he's still under a lot of control. So when you sense that that's the case, you don't need to like speed through these transitions, right? So take your time here. As you go to transition off, you can take this leg up to a knee on belly position, kind of settle in for a second. As you slip off, you can kind of crowd behind Danny's legs, make sure he can't turn back into you for a cheap, easy regard like he does right here. Right, he's turning towards you, and then from there, when you feel like you're secure, you know, hips to the mat, start working on tightening up that finishing grip, and then you're good to go. If you do it too fast, you just kind of run into something like this. Yeah, and now payback. Danny's been liking this. He did that to me last time I trained with him, where like he gets to this elbow, like really high elbow position, and then tries to wrist lock you with the mat. He put a lot of strain on my shoulder. I wasn't gonna tap to a wrist lock from Danny, but I will tap when I feel like my shoulder's about to rip off. So Richie getting really high here as he's trying to take the back. I think some of the more experienced students probably have some tips for him there as far as how to enter into the back and break someone down from turtle. He's got a leg in, so that's good. But the way he was kind of like, he was already falling off the back, he loses his ability to really like influence Ronnie's stability. So you guys know I favor leading in with the knee and breaking down the hips, or using a power half Nelson from there. James, nice hip switch. Almost to your seated entry. There it is. Going right into double trouble. And then to the heel exposure. Nice. From there, once you have that heel exposed, let go of that second leg. Just if you find yourself getting stuck up there a little bit, once you have the heel, you're good. You need to move on to grip from there, so you got to let go of that secondary leg. Yeah, whatever. If you force the position, you're not forcing it, you're just getting it. Right, Steven and Richie. Round 2 for the big dogs. into that backside outside heel hook. And Braden with that patented anaconda. See him get that again. So hits the roll. So much better, man. Like, immediately trying to capture that arm with the leg. You're not waiting like you used to. There was a beat there for a little while where it was easy to get that arm down and start disrupting things. And now you've made it automatic. That's an example of just why drilling and listening to feedback is super important. Starting to take that gap between the roll and the arm capture, taking that gap down to 0. In on a shoulder crunch, getting the arm extended. Ooh, with the straight arm. Luke coming in for that single leg, like outside Ashi, reaping over now. Trying to break the heel off the ground. There it is. Looks like Daniel's trying to counter with a toe hold there. Not a terrible idea. Yeah, I think Luke's doing a good job of straightening that leg to prevent the grip from being established. I think. I'm kind of guessing here. Looks like right there Daniel goes for the toe hold. But Luke has heel exposure, so it's kind of like who wants to go first. I think Luke actually hits more of a toe hold here, but from a very different grip. Look at the final grip right here. Not like your standard double wrist position, just pushing the leg away and then kind of torquing on the toes. I think that gets the tap for him. The day it works on Aries. Later on, Jason. I assume you mean the takedown of the day. Where are you two? You're okay. There you are. I'll find you and Gavin in a second. What was the takedown? So Aries hits a single. You're trying to roll through onto that knee bar entry. Did I miss an earlier takedown here? Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, I take it maybe Luke went over that because of Gary Tonin. Well, Tonin hit the rolling knee bar entry when his opponent was behind him. So different move, but similar outcome. Nice. Very nice. Gavin just about put you to sleep. Let's see. Oh, with the zone arm triangle from side control too. So he gets his head under the arm, jumps all the way over. Some nice tight elbows, and you're seeing stars. Yeah, I wish that chat wasn't so garbage with their delay. Joe, it looked like you were hitting it twice, though. Braden on his own strangle. All right, cool. I don't know what you guys went over for the back, but it's good to see a rear naked strangle sneaking in here. Daniel trying to skip around Luke's guard, but it's just not that easy. Yeah. It's nice to be able to do those entries, those takedowns, akin to a Kani Basami or flying scissor takedown without the risk of blowing your partner's knee out. That rolling entry is much safer and leads to a nice submission. Daniel's trying to work a double underpass here, but notice how much Luke has put... Oh, nice. Just as I'm talking about how it's not working. Luke is really hanging his weight on Daniel's arms to keep the double under from working. And then Daniel makes a good switch here. Notice how he picks a leg and he begins to crowd it. So he gets real close to Luke's left leg here. Hasn't stepped over like you do in a body lock pass yet, but he starts to walk it back in so that Luke can't Luke can't track him as easily at this point with that leg. And then when he has the opportunity, he makes a quick jump over, clears the knee, and then from there he's good to go. Braden with a looks like practicing an X guard sweep. To the cross ashi entrance. Nice. And then Steven and Richie, what happened with you guys? Steven, you hip bump sweep him? Ish? Oh, you had an opportunity for the triangle entry. To a guillotine? Nah. Was that tap? Well, I guess he tapped. Daniel on the back as time expires. What will Justin do here? Oh, look at Ben getting a little frisky here, trying to hit a double leg. Just keeps his head on the outside as he goes for it, and Justin's ready to shut it down. Why is everybody off the side of the mat? There we go. Skip ahead a bit here. Gavin steps over into mounts and recognizes the back exposure that Danny's given him. So it looked like for a second he was thinking armbar, and then he says, ooh, I got the back though. Alright, we haven't seen Brandon on tape yet. Attempt to guillotine. That's what I figured. I guess Richie was just tapping early. Mike looking for a sweep. Joe denying. Brandon doing a good job framing here. He needs to get the work. There we go. He was in on both legs on Jordan, but I think a little too slow on the execution. Before I forget, while we have so many viewers right now, any of you that are going to the Tonin seminar should be thinking of questions. I've written down, I think, 3 that I wanna ask them. I don't want to make promises for how he'll run his seminar, but the time that I did get to attend one, you know, at the Q&A part, you get to ask whatever you want about any position. It's not just stuff from you know, stuff that's relevant to what he goes over. So keep that in mind. Anything you're seeing here on stream, or things you're feeling at class, tendencies that you're having, or tendencies that you don't have that you want to build, specific techniques, strategy, whatever, man. Bring it to the seminar, because you don't get a chance to ask a jiu-jitsu professional how to do a move very frequently. Joe makes his way to the back. Looks like you're giving Mike some trouble here. Sorry, let's go back with Brandon and Jordan real quick. Brandon working to the standing position. What happened with Steven and Andrew? Ah, smother tap. Jordan, you were in a great spot for a split second, and I just want you to recognize it when it pops up. You should know, just by looking at this, what you have here. It's full back exposure. You've caught Brandon with both of his arms on the same side of your body, right? Right from this, it's kind of like it's not like a traditional arm drag that you end up in, but you have this like grip on the tricep, and as he comes forward, you've gotten your body behind his right tricep. That's back exposure all day. Recognizing moments like that when they pop up are crucial, right? Because now this can change the entire trajectory of this round. You extract this arm and then take it to the far lat and grip there. Pull him in, give him a nice big old one-armed hug, and you can start to rotate around him and establish hooks and go on the back attack rather than him squaring up on you like this. I like the head pressure, Joe. Trying to keep Mike from advancing up the body. Left hand to lat. Yes. Yeah, the left hand reaching behind. Right here. Yeah, taking the left hand up and over. That's what I'm talking about. And here, you hit your own little hip bump sweep. Very good. Powering through. You don't get to mount, which is fine. But you do maintain a dominant position. Good stuff. Brandon's doing his best to get that top knee in. I want to see some octopus guard in action. Sure. Where you at? Where you at? Octopus guard. Where are you? You with Jordan? Other Jordan? See what you're playing with here. Oh, right. I know what you're talking about. I forgot that's what they call that. $30 seconds left. Yeah. That's nice, man. So you come up. He's got this weird lockdown on the. It's kind of like on the top leg here. As he switches his hips, you have this lockdown position on the top leg. And from here, I'm just trying to think. I don't know if I've ever been in a position like this before. Just the way you have that top lockdown looks interesting. I can't say I see that much. Yeah, that's something, James. I haven't studied too much. I know Craig had that. He had an instructional he put out about that. Yeah, no, it's like the over back grip. I think is the primary component of that. Justin puts that to good use too. I think he likes to pull that out in the gi. Oh, let's look at this. This is a fun takedown. Little knee tap, see if Joe reacts. He doesn't, so he goes, you know what? That's mine. Picks him up. Dump. One more time, just because I like it. Tap. Pick it up. I think even Joe liked that. That was sick. To grab that leg on the way down. Yeah, that would have been a beautiful counter. I saw you immediately looking for it. Fun takedown though. You just got your head real low. Was, you know, as soon as your hips come up over your head, you're pretty much done from that point. Ooh, Justin almost did a nice little trip on Jordan there. Foot sweep. Ooh, look at Brandon. Oh, Brandon, I want you to reap harder with that leg. And not just because I want you to injure Mike, but because you really need that to get that heel exposure. You start off good. Like right here, you reap this leg over there. I want you to keep driving that across his waist. That's going to put Mike's knee to the mat and expose the heel. Mike just makes a good adjustment, though, at this point, because he knows he was in an off-balanced position, so he had to adjust. Immediate Kimura attack, though. Brandon getting after it. Hungry for the submission. Ooh. Brandon hitting a Kimura trap. He looks pretty pleased with himself. Man, that was beautiful. Great execution. So he's really turned to it. He's trying to get Mike's arm out here. So he's selling the Kimura. He's really trying to work it. Watch him load his legs up. Up and around. There it is. Awesome. Even if Mike was coaching you through that, which I don't know if he was or not. Got the Danaher thumbs up. Man, Jason is really crowding you here. Trying to keep you pinned. I think he knows how you can be pretty dangerous from here, Joe. Mike will give you what seems like a freebie, and then he makes you pay for it. Jason working the dorsal position and then switching to a head scissor. I would, alternatively, Jason, I would opt to fall to the other side. Put Joe on his back. So you fall to your right here. I would fall to your left instead. Try to get Joe on his back. It's not the end of the world. This isn't like a terrible spot. Joe's just in more of an athletic position from here than he would be if he was on his back. There we go. Looking, that's exactly what I wanted to see. You send that Kimura deeper underneath him and then use that to sweep him over. But Joe's done a good job hiding the arm now. And rolling to regard. Nice. Yeah, he does. But man, that's all the more reason to work, you know, the Kazushi I was talking about earlier. Like, getting guys off balance makes their legs light. You know, if you do it right. Look at Jason. I love seeing Jason going for leg attacks. Makes me so happy. Let's look at this again. So pulling it up, putting the heel, yeah, for real. Putting the ankle in his pocket, and then sitting into. So this is not the most ideal leg position, just because I could see his other foot is here as opposed to under the hamstring of Joe's right leg, right? Yeah, under his right leg, to set up like your typical Arimiyashi position. He's got the heel exposure, but Joe has full ability to roll with this. And this is where we look at switching legs to the outside position. So if Jason is in a great spot here. He could have, let's see, I think he keeps the heel. What would have made this ending a little bit better is if instead of this figure four he's setting up kind of low on the legs, if he had his hips closer to Joe's hips and had his heels digging in behind. Let's see if there's, yeah, he doesn't quite get the hip position right from here. This is where he kind of sets himself up to lose this. As he goes in on the leg, watch him fall backwards. And look how far his hips are from Joe's hips. That's where this doesn't quite go his way. He might be able to reclaim some of that here. But I think his own shin is actually preventing that on his left leg now that I'm looking at it. So he never quite gets the hip to hip position that he would like. There's a great shot where you can see how much space he has. And Joe's pretty much safe from here as long as he can step his foot on the butt. I think that's what Joe does next. Yeah, starts pushing out here. His knee's basically free, so Joe shouldn't have to worry. I don't know if he taps here or not, but he has full ability to roll and get safe. Oh, Jason recollects here. Okay, this is where I want to see a strong back heel. So I look away for a split second, something happens. Is this a knee bar, Joe? It looked like a knee bar finish or something. I don't know if maybe a toe hold. Nice. Either way, good recollection at the end to get the knee back. And Joe, good on you for like that initial defense. That was totally the right idea. Jason just managed to get the better of it the second time around. All right, so Aries on a no arm triangle position here. Looks like you guys just having a little post-match chat. We'll zoom in on Mike and Aries. Mike loves to make people suffer from here. And Neon Belly is a dangerous spot to get Darst from. Let's see, where did Aries go to put his hand? Yeah, right there. He isolates his own arm and gives Mike everything he needs to set up a fairly easy Darst. Another way this happens is when the hand goes to the knee to press the knee off the stomach if there's like really good pressure there. That's a surefire way to get Darst. And Aries is kind of doing the work for Mike by collecting that leg. Darces are so hard to escape, especially when they're close to set. You probably would rather go to a turtle position. A good thing to think about when you're defending a Darce, if you're not just like right at the end, is getting your chest pointed in the same direction as your opponent's chest. Think about how Mike was trying to finish that. His chest was pointing towards Aries' chest, like they were kind of in front of each other. Or how I say I like to finish it when I get onto a mount position. It's the same kind of thing. It's that chest to chest sort of position. So work backwards from that, take that away, try to get, chest, like your opponent's chest on your back, so your chest is pointing in the same direction. From there, it's a matter of getting your elbow down, grip fighting. It's difficult. Darces suck. I think it was the inside heel hook. Whatever it was, he got you. I'm sure he's stoked. I think Jason had you. Well, I think Jason tapped you. It was either you or Steven. And it was the day that or that somebody, maybe not me, somebody forgot to hit record on the camera. So I never got to see his tap. So if it was you, I hope that makes him happy. Mike again looking for a self-inflicted mistake here. If Aries extends his arm, Aries getting the overback grip, but Mike gets his arm back in time before Aries can take his back. Let's see how Aries handles the standing guard break. Notice when it kind of goes off script, Mike isn't he's not like he doesn't get Aries to break open the grip and then push the knee down and knee cut pass. Mike pays attention to as soon as he feels Aries' legs open, right? And right here he knows they're open, so he's stepping back to prevent Aries from relocking it. It takes a bit of a feel, right? It's going to be a lot of standing guard breaks that you have to go through to sense that sort of thing. Yeah, me too, man. It's going to be a bummer when he leaves. Hopefully he goes back to his school and crushes all the white belts. Just about out. And there it is. Yeah, man, you guys had quite an active Saturday. Really, really good stuff, as always. Super proud of you guys. Lastly, big shout out to Maverick Training Center out of Huntsville, Alabama. Pib Jitsu was in here, I think, 2 streams ago telling us where he trains, and it just happened to coincide with a trip I was about to take, so I got to drop in there. I didn't get to meet Pib, but that whole school is really awesome. If you guys are ever in Huntsville, Alabama, they basically run their stuff exactly like we do, down to the handshake, the high five line at the end of class, all that stuff. So really cool. Thanks to Professor Suzanne out there and her 2 children, both of whom are black belts, who run it with her, and then Pib's a black belt, and I think they have another one there too. So they've got a room full of talent. So definitely worth checking out if you ever find yourself in the Huntsville area. Other than that, yeah, so onward through week 2 of back mount. And then, again, shout out to Gary Tonin coming in this Saturday. So you guys, if you haven't gotten your tickets yet, please do so. Go talk to Bertram and make sure you're getting your spot for Saturday. I believe from 12 to 3. There will probably be an email about it, just in case I'm wrong, but double check that. I think it's 12 to 3. You're guaranteed to learn something. You're going to come out of the seminar better than when you started. I can promise you that. So I hope to see you guys there. I think that's about it business-wise. I'll check the competition schedule to see what we got coming up in case any of you want to compete and we can start getting ready for it. So in the meantime, follow here if you're watching and you like what you see. Subscribe if you can. Use your Twitch Prime and help us out. You could also subscribe over at YouTube as well, where we will post this for you to review. I think we'll just leave it at that today. Go trim your nails and do your laundry, and don't be stinky. And definitely go hit the gym, Baker. And I will see you guys back at class. I will be there this week, so super stoked. We'll see you guys then. Later.